Welcome again to our CDS members, our external guests. We are so happy and so honored to have you all here with us today. Before we start, I'd just like to specially welcome our CDS alumni members. I don't know if Mr. Alawi is here, our NYSC schedule officer, Mr. Abiodun Alawi, the executives of the Generation for Societal Change, joining us from all around the globe, members of Board of Trustees, the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Abraham Iju, and our amazing speakers, Mr. Ayorinde Precious and Mr. Lawrence Zia Kuleji. So welcome everybody. Very quickly, we'll just go straight into today's agenda. Let me display it quickly. Okay, so I believe we can see today's agenda. We will be we'll be opening the symposium with the NYC anthem. Thereafter, we'll be having a very fun icebreaker. And then we'll be hearing from our very own CDS president, Paul Ibe, taking us on the opening remarks. Thereafter, we would hear from Mr. Precious Ayorinde to give us the first session titled Building a Culture of Service and Ethical Leadership. And we'll take questions and answers from there. Then thereafter, we'll hear from Mr. Lawrence Zia Kuleji, taking us on voting values for true prosperity. Then we'll take questions and answers, and then we'll hear from our very own administrator of our CDS, Engineer Idaran Tewo, giving us the closing remarks. Then we'll end with a national anthem, and we'll take pictures from there. All right. So without wasting any of our time, let's get into... Sir? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so without wasting any of our time, we'll just get into the icebreaker. So let me share my screen first. Okay. So while I am getting ready for the game, I'll just be explaining how it will work for us to understand. So basically, the icebreaker is going to be in form of a quiz game. Don't worry, it's not that hard. It's very easy. And it's just to celebrate the Democracy Day and also for our CDS. So I'm going to share a link in the chat box. Okay. So basically, this link is going to, I hope you guys have seen it. This link, when you click on it, is going to take you to the game. And unfortunately, we can only take the first 30 people to click on the link. So do that quickly, as you guys have seen on the general group chat on for our CDS. Engineer is going to give you guys, the winners, a prize. So yeah, we are going to... Okay, before we take the quiz, let us quickly open this symposium officially with the NYSC anthem. Right. So hold on clicking on the quiz. Let's start by taking the NYSC anthem and then continue from there.
Mufi, we're unable to hear any audio. Mufi, we're not able to hear any audio.
Okay, you can't hear the audio. All right, sorry about that. Let me play that again.
You're on mute. Muffin, you're on mute.
Can you guys hear it now?
Yes.
Yes, we
All
can
right.
hear.
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you guys for your cooperation. So we go back to the icebreaker. I'm seeing invalid code. Okay. Let me try and rectify that. Okay, can we try again? I think it should work now. Okay, I can see you guys are joining. Okay. All right, so we have 9 participants. We'll begin when we have 30 participants.
While we're waiting for 30 participants, I would like to read something I wrote. And Democracy Day, but specifically for today. So something that I came up with on the 9th. Yeah. I believe a few people have put on the group chat, but not everyone has read it.
Paul, introduce yourself.
Democracy.
Introduce yourself.
Okay, sorry. My name is Paul Ibe, currently the president of NOA CDS Lagos. I'm a member of Ethical Leadership Subgroup. I'm a writer, and this is something I came up with on the fly yesterday. So the title is Democracy at 26, Nigerian Story. As the sun ascends on Freedom Morn, with pride Nigeria's heart is born. Democracy's anthem, a vibrant song, where diverse souls in unity. From Sokoto's plains to Calabas's shores, a tapestry forever woven. Every drumbeat hides behind a story of cultures, ancient, brave, and bold. The vibrant print of an light, reflecting the spirit, pure and light. The rhythmic dance, a joyful sway of body and feet, echoing traditions of yesterday. From Hausa's hospitality, warm and to Igbo's enterprise, fresh and new. Yoruba's wisdom, deep. A cultural harvest, the nation does keep. Masquerades with mystic mirror the heritage of each place. In festival grand and ceremonies old, a legacy richer than purest gold. The mosques call echoes, slow and low, beside church bells, where praises flow. In market squares, a bustling sound, where Christians and Muslim peace is found. Though creeds may differ and paths diverge, one human spirit emerges, the Nigerian spirit. A shared humanity, a common plea for justice, peace, and liberty. From festive prayers to quiet grace, faith finds its home in every space. Respect and understanding, gently sown, a bond of brotherhood, beautifully grown. Beneath the soil, a treasure gleams. The black gold flows in abundant stream. From fertile farmlands, crops arise. Beneath the vast and open skies, the Niger Delta's verdant expanse. A natural bounty, a second chance. From cocoa pods to shimmering tin, the earth's rich blessings from deep within. The sun-kissed plains, the forest deep, secrets of a nation, the land does keep. From shimmering waters to mountain tall, a natural heritage embracing all. So raise the flag with honor bright on this day, bathed in light, a nation's promise, strong and free, Nigeria's destiny for all to see. In culture's depth and faith's embrace, and nature's gift, a sacred space, the giant strides will now proclaim Nigeria's future, a blazing flame for all to see. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much. Can we just appreciate him with our reactions, show some love, social applause? I'm not seeing people's applause and your love. Okay, thank you to everyone that did that. So we'll be going straight into our icebreaker session. While our president was reciting his write-up, we successfully secured our 30 participants. All right, so let's get into it. Good luck, guys. So few minutes.
Why is Mufi laughing?
Engineer. I'm not saying anything.
Am I not a member of the CDS? Oh, why? I don't qualify for a prize.
Okay, so we'll have to end the game now. I don't think anybody else is playing. Is anyone still playing? I'm about to end the game.
I think we have enough. We have our winners already. We can end the game.
Of course, engineer will come first. Of course. Anyway,
I don't qualify. I don't qualify for the prize. So you pick the other top three.
so can we just, in a standing ovation and with show of reactions on our laptops, let us celebrate Fee, Folua, Faith, JB, who's KAO? You didn't put your full name, but we celebrate you, Abraham, Faith. I guess those are people that got everything. So celebrate you guys. We see you. Okay. Yeah. So without any further ado, let us just type in quickly our expectations for today while our very own president, our very own CDS president, Paul Ibe, gets ready to open this symposium with his opening remarks. So let me just hear just like one or two people, tell us what's your expectation for this symposium? What are your expectations? What are you looking forward to? Very quickly. All right, so I'm very sure that we all have expectations, but they are too much for us to even type out. But I'm personally looking forward to all that our speakers have to say. I'm looking forward to the knowledge that they will share and how I can, implement all that they teach us into my personal life and also share it to other people as well. So right now, let's just welcome our very own president, Paul Ibe. Let's appreciate him with our reactions as he comes to give us his opening remarks. Paul, the floor is yours.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'd like to recognize a few people first. The Chairman, Board of Trustees for Generation of Societal Change, Dr. Abraham Iju, the Global Coordinator for Generation of Societal Change, Engineer Okenwora, our very own Administrator and Coordinator of the CDS, Engineer Idara Itengu, and also, and as a schedule officer of the NYC to the CDS, Mr. Abiodun Olawuye, and the NOA schedule officer, Mr. Cosmos Oluyemo, and also to all executives and corp members present, good morning. First of all, I think the very day I met Engineer for the first time, I didn't actually hear his speech at the camp, but I heard from a friend what it was about. Then I went to meet him. We didn't actually talk. I just got his number. Then one or two discussions here and there. actually found out that the CDS is about things and values I grew up with. It's something my father always says: you are the change you put into the world. If you put in negativity, you get back negativity. If you put in positivity, you get back positivity. So basically, that has been the way my life has been rotating around such values. And knowing, and with that, I grew up with the notion of Nigeria is not a country, it's a people. If we keep saying the country is this, the country is that, then we're actually wrong. Because we are what make up the country, the leaders and the people. It's more like a contract. If one side of the contract fails and the second side of the contract lives up to that, the country survives. If both sides of the contract live up to it, the country survives. But when we go up with the notion and say, no, our leaders are not doing us well, so we too will not do the country well, a lot of things will go wrong. A lot of things will go wrong. I know the one question engineer asked me was, why did I join the CDS? I told them to get out of my comfort zone, because I'm the sort of person where if I see conflict most times, I sit back first and relax. Let me see what is actually going on. If it's something I feel like I can intervene. If it's something I feel it's not my concern, I'll let it be. But within the few months that I've been here, I know I've seen changes in a way in my own character, which is shocking. Because someone like me, before you even see me outside my house, you will know it's something important taking me outside. I'm actively moving about, trying to get things done. All thanks to the CDS. And also once in a while, advice I get from engineer, and it has been helpful, really. So whoever says NOA is not number one in Lagos, you are joking. You are joking. In fact, the whole Nigeria, I don't think there's another CDS like this, not just Lagos alone. Because this actually shows you what it means to be a real Nigerian, what it means to actually speak for your country and not wait for the country to speak for you. When you speak for the country, there is no way the country will not speak for you. So thank you. Well, I think in subsequent times we'll discuss more and we'll get to know more and more about what the CDS is about. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Paul. That was honestly very good. Thank you for that opening remark. Let's celebrate him. You guys are already doing just that. Thank you so much. All right. So next, let's just quickly dive into our first session. Will be taken by Mr. Precious Ayorinde, speaking to us on behalf of engineer Sheyi Oladeji, and he'll be speaking to us on building a culture of service and ethical leadership. So very quickly, before we have Mr. Precious Ayorinde speak to us, I will just read out his bio. Mr. Precious Ayorinde is the Gas and Renewables Lead at Energy Training Center, where he designs and delivers impactful capacity building and consulting programs for Nigeria's energy and manufacturing sectors. With over a decade of experience, he blends technology, media, and strategy to enhance professional development across industries. Mr. Precious has led cross-functional teams, managed large-scale events, and built digital platforms that drive learning and engagement. He previously served as IT officer at Impact Your World Leadership Initiative, where he coordinated media for conferences with over 3,000 attendees and facilitated tech programs for youth. At Energy Training Center, he oversees program execution, stakeholder engagement, and content development, contributing to major projects like the NLNG NCHCD program and Acceler's Natural Gas Awareness Campaign. Passionate about lifelong learning, Mr. Precious is dedicated to using technology and education to transform lives and empower communities. So, with our Zoom reactions, and a very anticipatory heart, let us welcome Mr. Precious Ayorinde as he gives us the first session. We're so happy to have you, sir. You may go on. Thank you, sir.
All right. Hi, everyone. I believe you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
All right, beautiful. And we all see my screen also.
Yes, sir, we can.
All right, beautiful. Okay, so let's start. Thank you all for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here. To the leadership and the NYSC officials, I appreciate the opportunity to take this session. So quickly, we'll be talking about building a culture of service and ethical leadership. The objectives we have for today, sorry, just give me a moment. All right, so basically the objectives we'll be discussing today will be to understand the core principles of service and ethical leadership. Then we'll move on to, of course, explore strategies for fostering a service-oriented culture here in Nigeria and also globally. Then identify real-world applications and challenges, and then inspire commitments to values-driven leadership. So let us proceed. Now let's talk about ethical leadership. What would we define as ethical leadership?
Sorry,
can you kindly mute? All right, can we all hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir, we can hear you.
Beautiful. All right, so what would we define as ethical leadership? It's leading with integrity, honesty, and fairness. It's making decisions based on values, not on convenience. It's being a role model of accountability and transparency. So one of my favorite things to say to younger people is, if we live by 90% of the things we've heard or by their definitions, a lot of us will be doing, far better in life. And I'm 100% sure for you to at least be undergoing the NYSC program, you must be a graduate of a higher institution. So you have come across integrity, you've come across honesty, you've come across fairness. We all know what good values are. We all know what bad values are. We all know what accountability is, and we know what transparency is. One of the major points for me in ethical leadership is everyone claims to be a person of value till it becomes a person with value, till it becomes inconvenient. So everybody wants to be that person that everybody knows keeps to his word. Everybody wants to know that I am that person that is honest, I am that person that is fair. And we mentally have that picture of ourselves. But values cannot be defined by you alone. Your values have to be defined by you and other people who undergo the impact of these particular values. So if I say I am good, I am kind, I am very fair, and it's only my family members that can share that testimony about me. And when you get to my place of work, the same thing cannot be said. Then in reality, am I good? Am I fair? Am I being honest? So of all these words that I've used, one of the major things that I think we can take away from this is that our values and ethics are not defined by us. They are a global standard that is acceptable, worldwide. Let's go to the next slide. Now, let us talk about the culture of service. when we see a lot of us are online, we use social media a lot, and we come across phrases like, I don't owe anybody anything. And I would like to, from this onset, correct that notion. You owe people service. You owe people ethics. You owe people empathy. It will be very unfair if everyone in the world operated with that mindset of, I do not owe anybody. So what is a culture of service? A culture of service is an environment where helping other people is normal. It is very, very normal. You see that a lot. If you study online, if you watch the Indian community, if you watch the Chinese community, you will notice that this is a culture that is embedded deep in them. So, for instance, you would see in a country like maybe America, where immigrants are coming in from India, you would see a family house where there are 30 Indians living together. Everyone is trying to help each other, trying to save costs and all of that. But when you come to Africa, the whole idea is once you guide your own side, every other person can, do their own stuff. So a culture of service requires you to help other people and see it as a normal thing to do. Secondly, prioritizing the needs of others. This can be your employees, this can be clients, this can be your community, this can be your neighbors, your friends. Now, mind you, I am not saying you should prioritize and, go forward to, of course, neglect your own needs. But it should be practically normal that you are looking out for other people beyond yourself. You see, Africa, by right, we have lost that ability to not look out for others. It's not a choice again. It's no more a choice. We have lost the ability to feed ourselves alone. It should no longer be a choice. It has to be a collective effort by all of us. Thirdly, embedding empathy and responsiveness in our daily operations. So, beyond NYSC, beyond your service here, a lot of us are going to go forward to become leaders in different sectors. And one of the greatest values that a leader can have is empathy. Empathy. So let's move on. Why does a culture of service and ethical leadership matter? Firstly, it builds trust and credibility. So if people know that they can count on you and you are not a selfish person, they know you are honest, they know you have integrity, they would never doubt your words. One of the things that we, where I work in 9 to 5 in the energy sector. And, sometimes I do a lot of communication with people and clients. And so you'll notice that most of the people that come back to you are repeat customers and then referred customers. Those two, repeat and referred. So I do maybe say consulting for a financial institution or for maybe a telecommunications entity, and they love it so much. The next time they face that set of similar sets of problems, they will come back to me because I've been able to build trust and credibility. Secondly, having a culture of service and ethical leadership encourages your team to be loyal to you and your organization. One of the greatest resources that a leader will ever have is the human resource. So items you would need to, of course, scale in a good business. Before, it used to be humans. It used to be humans. That was in the slave age. The more humans you have working for you, the better or bigger your business is. So maybe you are a farmer, your father is a farmer, married 5 wives and has 40 children. You know, he has a lot of human resource. But are those human resources loyal to him? The next level, of course, will be, capital in a business. Third level will be code. Now, we've gotten to a generation where the number of people required to do a particular job or particular business roles is dropping. Sorry, excuse me. So what do I mean by that? If you look at a company like Amazon, we have probably about maybe 5 to 15,000, team members and staff, and probably they are worth about a $1 trillion market evaluation. Out of those 3 to 15,000, how many of those staff will be loyal to Amazon? So if we say 50% of that number, let's cap it at 15,000. Let's use 15,000. 50% of Amazon staff are loyal to Amazon. The other 50% is a whooping 7,500 human resource that are not loyal. Now, because we've gotten to the day and age where you don't need such a large team to function. So an example would be to look at OpenAI. By the time OpenAI, which most of us use, ChatGPT, got to a valuation of about $46 billion, they had less than 300 staff. Yes, they had less than 300 staff. Look at Twitter when Elon Musk bought it. He fired about 80% of the team and left maybe only 20%. So why I'm stating all of this and giving you examples of this is some of us here will be leaders of big teams. Some of us here will be leaders of smaller teams. What you would like to encourage is team loyalty. Team loyalty. The next one, having a culture of service and ethical leadership helps to promote sustainable, value-driven success. So your success is not built on false values. Your success is not built on false values. So if this business comes and the values that this business requires me to, poach or to use is good, then we take it. If it's not good, we drop it. And then finally, it reduces unethical behavior and conflict. Where there is no law, there are no guilty people. Same thing to where there is no ethics put in place, there can never be wrong people. So you would notice that the moment you put laws and guidelines and rules into place, over a period of time, if you conform to them and you as a leader adheres to those type of rules and those type of behaviors, you would notice people under you will begin to follow and will also conform to them. Let me give you an example. No matter how, I believe all of us are based in Lagos, or some people might be out of Lagos. So if you stay somewhere in Mushin or Agege, if you drink a bottle of water and you throw the bottle on the floor, nobody will bat an eyelid, because that is the culture and behavior of people in that area. But you've not even gotten to the airport, for instance. You are just probably at Ikoyi or maybe Banana Island. You finish drinking water, you will start to look for a waste bin, because the people here do not have the same behavior and culture as the people in Mushin. So for you as a leader, once this is put in place, even when other people come in, they conform to the values and the ethics that you've put in place. there was a video of an experiment that that I watched. And what happened, they were going to interview about, say, a set of 5 people. And then 4 out of those people were actors. And the last person was a true interviewee. And so this person walks in. Immediately he walks in. When he hears a bell, when everyone hears a bell, all 4 of them stand up. So he was the only one seated. When they hear the bell again, they sit down. When they hear the bell again, they stand up. Over time, the man started standing and sitting with them. Did he know why? No. So once the bell rings, all 4 actors plus the real interviewee will stand up. And so they started calling the actors out one by one and bringing more interviewees. And because of the behavior of those 4 actors, by the time all the actors had left and the people that were seated on those chairs were just the interviewees, all of them were standing and sitting to the sound of that bell. So this shows you that once things have been set in place, even when people come from outside and they notice that these are the values or these are the ethics that you've put in place, they begin to, conform. So what are the traits of ethical leaders? Ethical leaders, integrity. You must be a leader that says something and does it. Now, it's not always going to be convenient, but when you say something, you must try your best to do it. I have one of my former bosses where at his birthday party, they gave everybody the opportunity to speak. And what everybody just kept saying was, if this man tells you, I will give you 10 million naira today or tomorrow morning, everybody's like, go to bed. You won't call him to remind you. He will call you and give you that money. So everybody knows him for that. Next one is accountability. Like I said at the beginning, every African has lost the right to think of their bellies alone and themselves. You have to think of the people beside you, and you're accountable to them. You're not only accountable to your bosses, you're accountable to people who are under you as a leader. Fairness. You have to be a fair person. You have to be a good judge. You have to treat people fairly. Transparency. People must be able to question you. You see, one of the things that you will notice if you study psychology a bit is if someone witnessed an event or real life and you ask the person same questions about that event over and over and over, the person will be able to give you key details as to what transpired. But if that event did not happen or it did not happen that way, by the time you ask 3 or 4 times, the story begins to change. Transparency means if I was asked, Precious, how did you spend the 1 million that was allocated to you? I can transparently say this was spent on this was spent on feeding, this was spent on transport, this was spent on this. 5 years from now, if I'm asked the same question again, I can show that. People who are ethical people have no fear. There is no skeleton in their cupboard. So they can open it and show you. The next one is humility. This is very key. So one of the things that we must
doesn't make sense at all.
Okay. One of the key things that we must learn in Africa is it does not take a lot to impress people. And when we impress people, pride begins to come in. When we impress people, pride begins to come in. That's why it's very okay for someone to, go to a community and share probably bread or something and feel like he has given them the whole world and feel proud. So little impresses us in Africa, which enables our leader to, of course, have the mindset of pride. So as ethical leaders, we must be humble. Even when we've done a lot, we must still be humble. And the last one is empathy. Showing care, showing concern towards people around you, towards people you are leading. So let's move on. All right, so building the culture, where do I start? Where do I start? If I want to become an ethical leader, where do I start? So define your core values. What are you standing for? What will you fall for? What can happen? What cannot happen? If you don't stand for anything, you will fall for anything. So if I have decided that no matter what we do, when we will look at a couple of cases, I would share that. And then people can use that to define, their own core values. So what do I stand for? What are the values that define me? Is it excellence? Is it empathy? And then when you've clearly defined these values, you lead by example. You walk the talk. So I do, if you've noticed, if you start something, let us say you are learning a new craft or a new skill, at the beginning, it's going to be very difficult to learn. But if you keep showing up, over time, it becomes easy. Then over time, it becomes a part of you. And then you don't know any other way to do things like that, apart from the way you've been, doing it. So as leaders, we have to be ready to lead by example. See, the truth about leadership is, if you are not willing to lead, somebody else will lead. And woe be unto you if that person is not an ethical leader. You'll just suffer the consequences. So you must be willing to lead by example, whether you are leading a small team, whether you are leading only one person. People most likely emulate behaviors and habits rather than words. So if I keep talking from now till next year, a lot of people will not do anything. But then when I show them that this is how I do it, this is how we do it here, this is how we do it at GSC, this is how we behave, this is how we behave at NOA, it becomes a norm across board. Then you notice other people to start conforming. The third one is communicate clearly your consistent message across all levels, both upwards and downwards. Communicate clearly. And then the last one is to reinforce behavior, reward, recognize ethical conduct. See, the truth about ethics is, if you don't have it as a young leader, even when you become a good leader, you won't have it. We are all creatures of habits, and the things we do consistently over time is what defines us. So you'll notice a lot of people, at least in this part of the world, are losing their ethics. I remember when I was younger, this is a pen here. My mom used to buy us pens, like a pack of pens. The moment you come home with another pen that does not look like the pen that was bought for you, the next question is, where did you get this pen from? Oh, I just saw it on the floor and picked it up. Come on. You collect very good bits in that day. But when that was clearly communicated to us, everyone stayed in line, everyone was in check. So recognize and reward ethical conduct. The people that see 5 million at the airport, or that see money at border, or lose money and return people's wallets and all those things, it didn't happen that day for the first time. It's a culture over time that these are the type of people. That's why when you see people moving forward to employ those type of people, it's because they know there is a background. There's a background of ethical conduct that defines you to find 20 million or 25 million naira in a bag and look for the owner and say, no, this does not belong to me. So let's move on. Embedding services in our daily culture. So this customer first mindset, I wanted to put a people first mindset. So let's look at it as a people first mindset. So think of people before you think of profits. Think of people first before you think of profits. The next one is internal service, colleagues helping colleagues. We are all leaders. We all know, most of us, we know each other's pain points. You know, it is your colleague helping you out, your fellow leader. There are some people, across my time, working in 9 to 5, I've worked in large organizations, I've worked in small organizations. There are some people who are people's people. They might not necessarily be the leaders, but they are people's people. Once those people start helping you as a leader, you will notice everybody is towing in line. So you have a lot of those type of people, you will come across them. Some might not even hold any leadership position, but it's just the mindset of this person is our leader, or I am the leader of this CDS or NOA or GSC. My bone of contention is that our vision, our mission must be met at all costs. How do I help this fellow leader? Encourage feedback and responsiveness. When you are given feedback, the natural stance of the normal human being is to become defensive. And I'll try to highlight the reasons why, at the end of the day, the end will justify the means. So encourage people to give you feedback. When you receive feedback, don't be defensive. Not all feedback might be positive. Not all feedback might be constructive, but take it all the same. Work on it, become better. And then continuous training and reinforcement. If we do a simple exercise now, and I say everyone should close their eyes and touch their lip, I am pretty sure nobody's hand is going to touch their nose, which is why everyone here can eat in darkness. You can eat without light. You can eat without seeing the hand that is carrying the food. Because over time, over the last 20, 30 years of your life, you'll be putting your hand inside semo and egusi and putting in your mouth. So that is reinforcement. So the moment you take it like this, your hand will always get to your mouth. It will never touch your cheek. It will never go to your nose. That is what reinforcement helps you do. So some things do not come naturally. When you reinforce, it means continuously doing the same thing. It takes about 21 to 66 days to build a new habit. So if you stay at it for that period of time, it then becomes a norm. So let's look at case studies and real life examples of, people who have, shown ethical leadership. I'll give a couple of examples, and then I would open the floor up for one person to give an example of where he thought someone showed ethical leadership. They will proceed. So let me read this out. In 1982, 7 people in Chicago died after taking cyanide-laced extra-strength Tylenol. So what happened? A company called Johnson & Johnson, which is the producer of Tylenol, they sell Tylenol as painkillers, extra strength, all of that. And then 7 people took it in one area, and all 7 of them died. Another thing about working in a good country and all of that, they were able to tie the case back straight up to Johnson & Johnson. And so what did Johnson & Johnson do? They recalled all the medication that they had sold, which cost them about $100 million. They told everybody that they've sold to, return it, we'll pay you back. And then they started the investigation. At the end of the investigation, what they noticed was that somebody was the culprit. An external person will come in, take the Tylenol, pour a bit of cyanide inside, and close it back and leave it on the shelf. That's why those 7 people died. But it cost the company $100 million to do that, and months of investigation. And so at the end of the day, what did they do? They came up with this tamper-proof package. That's why when you open most medications now, you see like a nylon wrap on top of it. So once you open it, you cannot close it back. Same thing with your Milo, same thing with your milk, where you can just open the lid. So it's Johnson & Johnson that came up with that, aluminum foil wrap that is usually on top. So once it's opened or tampered it, you know, and you don't, buy it. So the next one, JetBlue, on Valentine's Day 2007, they kept 9 of their planes on the runway during a snowstorm, and they were expecting the snowstorm to, improve. And it did not improve. They could not get the passengers out. They could not fly for like 5 hours. And so the disruption now cascaded into over 1,000 cancelled flights in that period, like about a week. Ethical leadership, their CEO came out and said he was wrong and apologized. He didn't blame it on the snowstorm. He didn't blame it on the pilot. He didn't say, no, I was not there with me, I was on leave. Ethical leadership dictates that he comes out, have a conversation with customers, or have a conversation with the people that is leading to say, oh, we messed up. These are the steps we've taken to improve. Yes, please.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. We just have 2 minutes left.
All right, no problem. So those are case examples of ethical leadership. So what are some of the challenges that you can expect? Change is not easy, and people resist change. But the more you keep hammering on it, the more people begin to conform. There are what is called ethical gray areas. So not everything in ethics is yes and no. There are gray areas that you might come across that might require you to, make some different type of decision. Third one, pressure to perform versus doing what is right. An example, it's a startup, the Muse, where she had a client, the CEO had a client. The client was treating the staff members badly, but were respecting her as the CEO. And she brought it up over and over again, but the client kept doing the same thing. And at the end, she had to cut the deal and refund the client the money, even though the startup needed that money. So that's another example of ethical leadership. Then inconsistent leadership behavior. So how do you overcome these challenges? You create safe space for feedback, review and reflect on decisions that have been made and how they affected you and the team you are leading, leadership coaching and accountability, then strengthen ethical decision-making frameworks. Okay, we're almost done. So what's the role of everyone? You see, the leaders dictate the tone. The leaders dictate the tone as to how people work, while the team, after getting that tone, will be the one to uphold the culture. So if the leader makes the tone, anybody that is caught stealing, you are out. By the time HR personnel are coming in, team leads, engineering managers, different people, they are the ones that uphold that culture. It's no longer the CEO or the team leader that does that. Other people can then say, no, this was what we decided on as a team, and this is the culture, while the individuals, take ownership. All right, so the call to action. These are questions that you should ask yourself. How will you live differently starting from today? You see, I'm trying to remember this book that I read that requires you to grow by just 1% every day. So at the top of my notes, typically when I wake up every day, I just write 1%. It means to get better at what I'm doing today by 1%. So what will I start doing differently today? These are questions you should ask yourself. What values will guide my next decision? Who am I serving through my leadership? Am I serving myself? Am I serving a cause? Am I serving people? So questions that you can ask yourself. Finally, the way to get started is to actually quit talking and begin doing. So immediately after this meeting, you can do one thing. If you put that one thing in front of your head over consistently and say, today I am getting 1% better. By the time you are done, based on compounding interest, you would be about 137.6% better in 1 year than you were. Because compounding interest says today I'm at my 100%. So if I add 1%, I'm at 101. Tomorrow, 1% of 101 is 1.01. So I'm adding 1.01 to 101. It becomes 102.01. Like that. So it compounds over time. So the whole idea around this is we've had a lot. Pick out a few items. You don't have to do all at the same time. Pick out a few, maybe one or two. I'll start leading with integrity. I'll be a honest leader, and then start on that. When you are done or you feel like you've come a long way with that, move on to the next. So thank you very much. These are my details on the screen. If you need, to have a chat with me or a phone call, I'm open. So at this point, I would open up to questions and answers before I leave. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Precious. That was genuinely enlightening, honestly. I personally gained so much, and I'm sure everyone else did. They are already expressing that in the chat box. So, just quick questions.
Yes. Who is Jumbo Victoriano, Atomic Habits by James? Yes, beautiful. That was the book I was trying to remember. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, beautiful,
Okay,
beautiful.
So if we have questions, please, can we just signify by raising our hand, or you can type it in the chat box.
All right. Someone says,
Yes, definitely.
Daniel, yes, we can share the slides.
Yeah. Okay, so Abraham and Peter, is there anyone else? Because we only have 10 minutes for the question and answer session. All right. So we'll just work with Abraham and Peter. So Abraham will go first, then afterward, Peter. Please, let's keep our questions. Okay, then Paul. So we can only take those three. So Abraham, Peter, then Paul. Please, let's keep our questions brief. So Abraham, you can go ahead.
Please put on your cameras when you're asking questions.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you so much for this meeting. Personally, I've gained a lot from this part of the leadership discussion. So I want to ask a question. So let's assume you have a team of people, and you personally, the team that you have are people that, okay. All right. So I believe you guys can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
So let's say you have a team of people where you both actually achieve something, although you are the leader of it, the leader of the team, and you have this team, and you want to build the same culture and mindset in them. How can you start, or what do you think you can do? Okay, there's an aspect of you that said, okay, walk the talk. That is, be the one working it. But maybe you have been trying to do it for a long time, but it seems that they are not following. Do you get it? So how can you make them true? And yeah, that's just the question.
All right, can I take the second one so I just answer together?
Okay, good morning, and thank you. Very good talk. So you've been saying a lot about leaders and leading, right? So, and I think one thing that we talk a lot about leadership, right? But we also need to. I want to get your perspective, maybe in a couple of minutes, about followership. Because before you can become a good leader, you must be a good follower. So I just want to get your perspective on that. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So the first question, how do I make my team conform and follow, my leadership style? See, the truth about leadership is it's very wide. But one of the things you must know as a leader is how to influence people. So how do I go from having a team member that doesn't show up early to work to begin to show up early to work every day? Simple. I set a rule. Resumption time is 8 o'clock. If you are not here by 8 o'clock, so and so happens. If you are here by 8 o'clock, so and so happens. And then I put rewards, consistency. Now, as the team leader, do I show up at 8 o'clock? Yes, I must show up before 8 o'clock. That is simple. Walk the talk, reward. So if you have a team member that you keep saying, you aren't doing this well enough, you aren't doing this well enough, there are different manner of approaches to having discussions with people like that. But as a leader, you must be able to pull your weight and carry influence on your followers. So you have to find a route. I'll give you an instance. I have different people on my team. I lead my team at ETC. And there are some people who require what I call micromanagement. What does micromanagement mean? You have different characters, different personalities, different people embedded in one team. Some people are very creative or very forgetful. As a team leader, what do you help them do? You help them create a structure around remembering. There are some team members who remember a lot of things, but do not have creative ideas. What do? You help them develop a creative mindset. So as a leader, you are expected to, be a notch higher than your followers in terms of knowledge. You might not necessarily know everything, but you know how to handle the team. You know how to influence people. So that's what I mean. So for someone like that now that requires me to micromanage, I came up with a system. On Monday morning by 10 o'clock, you and I will have a sit down for 20 minutes. I'll go over what you want to do throughout the week. And then by Wednesday, we'll have another 5-minute session. By 4:50, go over what you've done. And Friday, another 10-minute session. Now, I have other people on my team that on Monday, we just have a chat. And they just say, okay, I'm working on this one, I'm working on this, I'm working on this. And they go on, they do their work. So, same team, I am the same leader, but different style of leading the team to get the work done. So you have to be able to monitor people. You have to be able to study people. And at the end of the day, remember your vision. Your vision is what should be in front of you. And how you achieve that is left to you as the leader. There's a common saying that says it's not one road that leads to the market. The goal is to get to the market. So there are other, routes. For the second one, followership. So humans are creatures of character. I would like to refer us to read this book, please, from Third World to First World. It's the story of how Lee Kuan Yew built Singapore from being a third world country to being a first world country. For some of you that don't know, Singapore wanted Malaysia to buy them as a country. Singapore went to approach Malaysia, Alpha, buy us, move, join, let's come together and become one. And that deal fell through. And then their leader at that time, Lee Kuan Yew, came in. When Lee Kuan Yew came in, he changed everything from the top. So it's easier to make change from the top. Sorry. It's easier to make change from the top and let that change trickle down to the bottom. But mind you, you must also remember that your leaders are also an expression of the followers. So if we have people in bad, unethical leaders today, it means most of the followers are unethical. The name of the book is From Third World to First World. From Third World to First World, the story of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew. So Lee Kuan Yew did all of that in 20 years. And what did he do? He made strategic dictatorship changes which was what worked for them. So, for instance, let me give you one of the major changes he made as a leader was everybody must save 23% of their salary, whether your salary is enough or is not enough. Bank deducts from source. By the time he was done with Singapore, when he was dying, they did 7 days mourning period for him, and everybody came out of their houses. But at the beginning, it was tough. And so it might be tough for you at the beginning to have followers who have different mindsets. But once you're a leader, even if it's a small team, once you've developed this ethical mindset, eventually when you rise to the top, ensure you cascade it down. People at the bottom listen to rules. It's like silver or lead. It's like carrot and stick. So like the example I gave, in Nigeria, people litter their house, people litter their rooms. You see videos of people coming out of their vehicle to dump waste on the road. But the moment you enter the UK or you enter US, all of a sudden you are clean. So for now, if you notice what Tokumbo Wahab is doing in Lagos State, he's punishing people. People that litter, they are collecting 1 year in prison, 500,000 naira fine. You know, things like that. You set rules, you follow those rules. So those are some of the ways. So as a leader here, we are raising a new crop of people who are not like the norm, and who, when we get into positions of leadership, we remember our value system, and then we try to cascade that value system down to the followers. So everybody resists change. Change is not easy for anybody. I work from home. If I am required to work and start coming to the office every day, say maybe I have to leave my house by 6 o'clock in the morning, the first thing that I will do is I will resist it, because I like working from home. I like my comfort. But the moment I am aware that there is this rule that states if I'm not at work, 10,000 deducted from his salary per day that he's not at work, I will then have to make the tough decision. Do I want to conform, or do I want to disobey the rule? So that's it, simple. So I believe I've been able to answer the 2 questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you again, sir. We are so grateful. The session was filled with invaluable insights, and I'm very sure all of us gained so much. Can we all appreciate Mr. Ayorinde with our reactions in the chats? All right. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Peter, for all the book recommendations. All right. So quickly, right now, we are going to be taking our attendance. So this is strictly for only NOA GSC CDS members. So the way you do that, just type in your full name into the chat box. If you're on YouTube, do the same. Someone is going to be taking note of your names right now. So let's just do that quickly. Type in your full names into the chat box.
Mofi, while they're typing, we can move on to what is next.
Yeah, okay, sir. All right, so next we have our next speaker. We'll be welcoming Mr. Lawrence. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so next we have our next speaker, Mr. Lawrence Zia Kuleji. He will be speaking to us on voting values for true prosperity. So quickly, before he comes up, I would read his bio. So Mr. Lawrence Zia Kuleji is a distinguished leader in the fields of commerce, technology, and youth entrepreneurship. currently serving as the Vice President of the Professional Services and ICT at the Kogi Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines, and Agriculture. Mr. Lawrence also serves as the Kogi State Coordinator of the NACC IMA Youth Entrepreneur Program, where he champions initiatives to empower and support young entrepreneurs in the region. Furthermore, Mr. Lawrence holds the esteemed position of Global Secretary at Generation for Societal Change, where he actively contributes to global efforts aimed at driving positive social impact and change. With great heart filled with anticipation, let us celebrate Mr. Lawrence with our reactions in the chat box. Mr. Lawrence, we are looking forward to your insight today. You may go on, sir.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
But why can't I see myself?
We can see you.
We can
Oh,
see
We
you, sir.
can see you here.
Yeah, we can see you.
We can see you.
anyways, it's so good to be here. I want to, well, I was laughing before, you called me up. I was laughing because when you said we should write our names, I think it was for the NOA CDS guys, right? And then I saw the board of trustees chairman board of trustees, Abraham Eju, his wife also put her name. So I was going to say the NOA CDS in Lagos have to give her an honorary membership. I want to use that note to call on the protocol and to say good morning to the chairman board of trustees, Abraham Magose Eju, someone that I admire a lot, respect a lot. Abraham stepped into my life when I most needed it. So it's important to mention in occasions like this one. I also want to say good morning to his beautiful and very supportive wife, Mrs. Mofe Eju, whom without her support, Abraham would not have been able to even reach me. I also want to say good morning to Engineer Peter Ibi, who is also on the call. He is the past Global Coordinator for Generation for Societal Change. Also, good morning to Mr. Sheyi Oladeji, who was represented by the very fine speaker. And also Idara, the GSC Lagos Zone Coordinator, who is so fantastic. Sometimes I feel like this CDS program was started because of Idara. Idara needed a place to demonstrate his talent so well, and it shows in the way that he coordinates the NOA GSC CDS in Lagos. Idara, we are very proud, very happy. To make us feel more fulfilled in the work that we are all doing together. Thank you, Idara. And to the members of the CDS, the NOA GSC CDS in Lagos, I sincerely, and this is on behalf of the leadership of Generation for Societal Change, I want to thank each and every one of you. For me, each time it involves speaking with members of our community, it's many times emotional for me because you see, I have been privileged to be very much part of what this organization have been able to achieve. And so when I was called upon by Dara to speak, I was a bit, I don't know, I had a feeling, I don't see myself as a speaker. I very much think that I'm a storyteller, but Idara called on me, said I should pick a topic, you know, entrenching citizenship values to mark the Democracy Day. It was something that I was very busy. As you can see, look at the background. I'm in Lokoja currently. So this is my, how do I call it? Let me just call it a safe house, you know. But I also saw it as an opportunity to pour my heart to each and every one of you listening to me, wherever you may be. And as a matter of fact, videos like this are documents. So in 30 years' time, somebody might see this video and then they would see what each and every one of you have done, and then they would be able to also learn a thing or two. I don't have a slide. I don't have a slide. So each time it happens to me when I go into a place to speak, they bring such a wonderful speaker, and then I don't know. I'm like, okay, should I make this speech or not? But I really don't have a slide, but we are going to try and work with what I have put together, and that is to make this interaction a bit social. I'm going to try to share my screen. Let's see. I hope the admin is on the background to support me. Okay. Idara, if your mic can be on, I want you to guide me on how to share my screen in a way that I can both see myself and see my screen.
Okay, so once you share your screen, all you have to do, just go to the screen you're sharing, leave Zoom. It will still be present on Zoom. So
it says I should share application windows or photos.
Yes. Have you opened the window you want to share?
Okay, hold on. Then let me click share now.
Exactly.
Excellent. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
So I'm informed that I have 30 minutes to talk. Please, if it's 20 minutes, I need to be informed. All right. Thank you. So I wanted to share this picture with each and every one of you, first of all. This picture was taken sometime in the year, I think 2020, just before COVID hit. And this picture is me in the middle, in the funny cap. And I'm holding the letter that it was received from the NYC, showing that they have approved the establishment of the CDS. The reason I'm showing you this picture is because this is one of my most beautiful moments of my life. I wasn't sure where this was going to lead us, but here we are, okay? Also, at this time, this was 2020, I want to show you a picture of 2013 or 2014, when I was, I think, 25 years. And this is me in 2013, I think, at a school in Mabushi, Abuja. This picture I like it because it reminds me of my passion to really contribute to the development of society. It's one of also my most beautiful moments. But these pictures that I show you guys is also responsible for my bald hair. Idara, did you hear me?
I did, I heard you.
Yeah, so the bald, and most of it also to Abraham Adri, because he put me in this problem. Now I have to think about getting hair cream on how to grow my hair back because I have thought so much about how to really contribute to Nigeria, and it's been interesting. It's been interesting, but aside the jokes, I'm so grateful to God that we are at a point where we can share this with several people who are listening, who are also working towards the same goal, and we're so happy. And so today, I was informed that I will be speaking on, of course, the theme is entrenching citizens' values. My topic is voting values for true prosperity. I've made a note here, so you just follow up with me. I hope that I can convince one person today. And if that one person is convinced, maybe they will also go ahead and convince one person. Today is, of course, the Democracy Day. And the Democracy Day, we all know the gist. It's considered a very special day in the history of our democracy, June 12th, where everybody seemed to agree that there was a winner of a particular election across the country, in the person of Chief MKO Abiola. I listened to Abiola, some of his videos, and very, very solid personality. One thing I learned from that history is the fact that at that moment, Nigeria threw out of the window the concept of tribalism, of religion. Both the Christians, the Muslims, the Hausas, even the Basas voted for Chief MKO Abiola. So, wonderful day to talk about voting. But the theme says entrenching citizenship values. I had to find out, what does it mean to entrench? Entrenching is to establish an attitude, habit, or belief so firmly that change is very difficult or unlikely. To establish so firmly that change is very difficult or unlikely. What is citizenship? Of course, taken from the word citizen, it says a legally recognized subject or person of a state, either native or naturalized. So we know who we're talking about. And then values are simply principles or standards of behavior. So now to my topic, voting values, right, for true prosperity. Keyword, voting. A formal indication of a choice between two or more candidates or cause of action. Prosperity. A state of being prosperous. Now, prosperous therefore means successful in material terms, flourishing financially, physically, strong and healthy. So, entrenching citizens' values, voting values for true prosperity, therefore means that today we seek to establish firmly within our people a set of behaviors and habits that will sustainably cause them to always choose principles and standards that guarantees that they are always successful in material terms, flourishing financially, physically, living in good health of mind and body. Are you with me? If you can hear me, please.
I can hear you, sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
sir.
So this
Yes,
is why
I can hear you.
the conversation is to really find a way to establish firmly within the people of Nigeria or Africa a set of behaviors and habits that will sustainably cause them to always choose principles and standards of behavior that guarantees that they are always successful in material terms, flourishing financially, physically, living in good health of their mind and their body. Now, the moment we are able to establish this, is true prosperity not assured? It's a question.
Yes.
Hello?
It is. It is.
It is. And my question now will be, is it possible that we can do this? Please feel free to interact with me. I wish this was a physical session.
For sure, it's
Is this
very possible.
Is this something we can
It's
do?
possible, sir.
Yes, we can.
Especially with the
It's possible,
structures
yeah,
that
we
we
can.
have. Excellent. Thank you so much. So today, I don't want to talk to the coppers like they are just getting to know what values GSC is about. or what they have been doing at the NOA GSC CDS. No. I want to talk to the corpers like the leaders that you are. You are already going out. You're already having the conversations. And so I want to talk to you about us stepping up these conversations. In recent months, I have observed and seen how, especially the ruling political party, the All Progressive Congress, is already out with the full energy talking about 2027. And I asked myself, I said, wow, they are having more than a 2-year plan to retain power. What are we doing as GSC to ensure that the people are also prepared for that time? GSC promotes our abilities to visualize the future. And so we must be able to practice that. We must be able to visualize a better future for ourselves and put in efforts that would help us to get to that picture. And so while we started GSC and started having various programs fine-tuning, we had something they call the Adopt a School program, where we encourage all GSC volunteers to just look around the houses. And I think most of us have it. You find a school somewhere around, the closest school, just approach them and tell them, this is who you are, this is what you do, and you have a team, but because you stay around here, you need to speak to them about something that is very important to both individual development, to family development, and then to societal development. You can call it community development now in the sense. So we started these community development programs and the feedbacks have been amazing. For example, it was during these community development programs, the Adopt a School program, that I met many of the GSC volunteers today. One of which is Joseph Ugochukwu. I also met Adeleye Adetono, just going out on these community development programs. And so you find out that since I met Joseph Ugochukwu in SS2, Joseph Ugochukwu had become a member, even became a leader of GSC in Abia State. And today he's a lawyer and he still volunteers with Generation for Societal Change. I think that the Adopt a School program is so untapped. The CDS corpers come to the CDS and then they listen to the CDS and work with projects of the CDS, which is very excellent. But it goes beyond being a CDS member. GSC is not a big hall. GSC is our minds. And so I would say this to encourage everybody listening, that if you have not started adopting a school within your environment, as an alumni most especially, you should start. Go to a school.
Sorry, Mr. Lawrence.
Is it 20 minutes yet?
20 minutes, yes, sir.
Hey! Oh my God. Please, Idara, you guys are going to add me 3 minutes, but I'll move. Now I've discussed about Adopt a School. We'll go to vote for values for true prosperity, voting values for true prosperity. And I wanted to take the opportunity to share an example of the materials that you guys should take into the communities to teach them how to identify leaders like yourselves, because you guys are the leaders that we are preparing for the future. How do you do this? We have developed, and this is my X handle. I'm not so active on X, so my handle is nobody. Anyways, you can see for social justice, we go and now we start teaching them. We say being socially just and voting for social justice means that I will not aid or participate in unlawful activities before, during, and after the elections. You have to target people. First, you have to enlighten them what these values are, and then you have to say things like this to them. All right, you can, I'm sure you guys are very creative. So find a way to show them how social justice helps in the coming election in 2027. Is that okay? If you look at dignity of labor, it says being dignified in labor and voting for dignity of labor means that I will be willing to contribute my quota to bringing about the country of my dreams by actively and lawfully participating in electoral activities and not sitting on the fence. This is also an important value. So all corpers, it is important that your voting in the upcoming election is something that you do. You must plan towards it. Now we are here, we can no longer sit on the fence. Is that okay? We go to the next, self-reliance. Being self-reliant and voting for self-reliance means that I will vote for candidates because I strongly believe in their good intentions for my country. So you have to get them to think, who is this person that wants to lead me? What has he done? Who has he been? What has he been doing for the last 10, 20 years? Can I entrust the lives of my children to this person and believe that this person will take us to a better future? These are questions that we need to start sparking in the minds of the electorates. They have to now start learning. We keep telling them about how, just like Engineer Peter cited, there's a path for followers and then there's a path for leaders. I think it's pari passu. You have to even learn to follow first before you lead. But the truth is, we have to start sparking in the minds of these people to really understand that they have a power to choose, and not just choose carelessly, to choose wisely who leads them. Okay? It don't matter what party that person is. They just need to start looking for individuals with these values. The next one is religious tolerance. Being religious tolerant and voting for religious tolerance means that my electoral choices will not be influenced by my religious affiliations, but my beliefs in the competence of the candidates I am choosing to support. Forget about religion. Who is this person? These are questions we are pushing. Now, I'm showing you all this because I want you to know that the materials are here. Discipline. Being disciplined and voting for discipline means that I will not accept any form of bribe intended to influence me to sell my vote during the election. You have to push this into the minds of the electorate. Integrity. Having integrity and voting for integrity means that I will vote only for candidates who I am certain have displayed in times past and are displaying attributes of truthfulness and honesty in their personal lives and in carrying out their responsibilities. And then finally, patriotism. Being patriotic and voting for patriotism means that my love for Nigeria will make me do the right things and follow the correct procedures to vote before, during, and after the elections. Guys, mine is more of an appeal. The Nigerian people deserve the right to know the implications of choosing their leaders. For the sake of those that are coming, the ones yet unborn, we have to begin. We really do have to begin. So I thank you all for listening. I hope that I would have questions. And God bless each and every one of you for your work. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for that insightful session. Please, let's flood the screen with appreciation. Let's appreciate Mr. Lawrence with reactions. That was honestly another impactful session. I don't know if we can have like a consolidated version of those Twitter posts that you made. That would be very helpful to us, sir. Okay, so we can, if you have a question, please signify by raising your hand or typing it in the chat box. Let's do that quickly.
May I ask my question here?
Okay, sir.
I can ask, can I? If you don't give me permission, I won't, or I can't if you.
Sir, you can ask your question. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Lawrence, thank you so much for pouring out your heart as much as you just did in the last few minutes. We are really blessed and grateful. So my question isn't much. Mine is simply because I think I have an answer, but I would have loved someone else to answer the same question so that my coppers in the CDS can have an idea of someone else's answer. And my question is this: how do we consolidate? We know that we have a values deficit currently, not that we don't have values existing as it were, but we there's a difference between there's a spasm between the values and then the values implementation. So what would you say, all right? What would you say corpers can do, all right, to keep their motivation up, keep their energy up, irrespective of all the ills that society throws and churns out at them daily? Because I know that I have a couple of them. They are basically all my mentees, but I know that I have a couple of them who have this unique challenge of probably they experience something at work today and it's like, this Nigeria is not working again. Then Nigeria works the next Thursday when they come for engagement or they come for a meeting. After that, Nigeria is not working again. So the capacity to sustain the motivation, the drive, the energy. Thank you. Please share with us.
Thank you very much, Idara. Wonderful question. But this is how I see it. Maybe, I don't know how this session will go. Maybe someone like Engineer Peter or Abraham would have, a better response to it. But here's my opinion. I do not think that it is also even far from what the Holy Book, which for me, the Bible, speaks about, being in that environment with the brethren, iron sharpeneth iron. First, that is very key. The alumni system of the NOA GSC CDS has to be looked into to create a community of people, first, who have been exposed to such great information. That is one. Two, and I think that would help. Two is, for me, the fear of being average, of being a mediocre. That fear propelled me to keep at it. And it does come with a lot of doubt at some point. It's like the stages that helps a butterfly to be. There are stages in this journey. You would get to a stage of doubt. For me, I had a stage of pure anger, worry, and I cried many nights for Nigeria because of how exposed I was and how I started to see society, So the thing is, these ones, we have been exposed. And so you can really see the chaff from, what is really good. And so it puts a burden, especially when you don't have the power yet to change anything. So you can only just interact with it or isolate from it. So these are, but the most important thing is to stay at it. Are you with me, sir? So
Yes,
thank you very much. Let me leave it there for now, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. We have two other questions. Victory, you can go first, and after that, Faith, and that will be all the questions.
All right. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for the insightful session. So I quickly have a question here. I wrote it down. So in respect to applying these values, so you listed the values, and in respect to applying these values in our participation during electoral activities, let's talk about going out to vote. So we often hear this statement from people, and even me, I'm also a victim of that your vote doesn't count. So how do we correct these misconceptions? Like you talked about going to schools, or let's say going out to tell people, okay, it is time for us to get prepared. 2027 election is coming up. And then this set of persons are telling you that, see, I've gone out to vote, and with the way it is going, after the calculation and everything, we just knew it was rigged. So how do we correct this? How do we change the mindset? Even me, how do we correct this mindset, especially in Nigeria? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victory. Great question. Usually when I give talks like this, I get questions, and I think I'm being asked these questions like I'm already the leader, which is which is already a wonderful thing. But I also have to be careful to be very objective with my response. It's a wonderful question. And so we all are victims. We doubt the systems. But I'll tell you something. Consider a lister engine. If you know what the lister engine is, Victory, you notice that you have to turn it. You have to add force. At some point, it starts shooting, and you don't have to keep turning. It just keeps shooting. What it is we are trying to do right now is turning that lister engine. It seemed like it wouldn't come on, but I tell you, it will come on. We only need to be consistent. We only need to keep going at it. The moment we get as many people as possible exposed to the same information that you and I have, something will be altered. Something, I don't know what it is yet. It's just like how this CDS became. The first letter was written in 2016. And so the bureaucracy of the system did not give it the attention that it deserved. In 2016, it took us to rewrite in the year 2019 before attention was given, and with constant follow-ups. But today you are seated here asking me a question. If I had given up, you would never be here. If GSC had given up, you would never be this exposed. Is that correct, madam? Excellent. So we have to keep turning it. And so one day you will look back and you'll be like, oh, I remember when we were begging people. Now everybody is aware. Is that not correct? Thank you for that great question. Thank you so very much.
Yes, sir.
The last question, please. Who was the last person? Faith, your question, please.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for that insightful session. My question goes along the lines of sensitization of people concerning the values and the connection with social empowerment, right? Because we see that most of the people who participate in subverting democracy are usually people in difficult situations, right? And so we see that they do not have the resources to live a comfortable life or to live a basic human life. Now, my question is, could the answer to us having a good democratic system be a kind of a partnership where we're doing social, we're doing social empowerment, but we're tying it back to, valuing Nigeria? Because what you see is that when some people get empowered, they get comfortable, and then they are no longer concerned about Nigeria. It's just me. While some people are in desperate situations, and even though they wish to follow the values, the situations they find themselves in, pushes them into. So can we say that having a partnership between, social empowerment and, promoting values could actually be a positive step to promoting democracy? Thank you so much, sir.
That's another excellent question from Praise Faith. Thank you so much. It's a very deep question, because now you are now linking the economic problems to our ability to convince these persons to, engage the system in the way that we feel is right. It's a very deep one. For me, I think that it is possible to merge social empowerment programs with values education programs. Let's put it that way. It's very possible. This is even the tools of those who seek political offices. So you see, they go and say they want to buy fuel to support the Okada riders in a rural area that has population. And the Okada riders taking money for fuel are already more like mentally coordinated to follow a particular individual. Or they go to the woman whose family is unable to feed and they say, hey, you don't have rice. We brought you rice and Maggi and salt. Take salt. But we are the guys that have chicken on our logo. You can vote for the chicken. My point, these programs are effective. But I also feel that the low-hanging fruits are the children of these people. If we expose those in nursery, primary enough with rhymes and songs and arts and something, when they go home and the parents have conversations with the children, which they will, somehow the information will even filter into the homes. Are you with me? That is why I think that one of our best strategies will be to reach out to those even in primary 2, primary 3, primary 4, and break down this concept of values in a very beautiful story that they would never forget. So yes, we can merge the programs, but while we're thinking about what programs to merge with our outreach, let's still look at what we can do from where we are. Thank you very much, Grace. I hope that answers it.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Lawrence. Thank you again, sir. All right, so in the absence of any other questions, we'll move on to our next item on the agenda. But I want to say something. Before we move on to the next item on the agenda, I want us to retake our attendance again because I think it was a bit clumsy. So please just type in your full name and your state code to Clementina directly. Okay, so your full name and your state code. And while we are doing that, we would welcome our very own administrator of our CDS, Engineer Idara Mtewo, who is doubling as the coordinator of the GSC of Lagos. So let's welcome him. Let's celebrate him with reactions. He will be giving us the closing remarks for this symposium for today. So welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Mofi. You've done a very fantastic job moderating today's session. Can you guys see me?
Yes, we can.
Hello.
Yeah, Clementina, you want to say something?
Please, I'll be dropping a Google form in the chat box and don't send it as a WhatsApp message, please.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
drop it. All right. Drop it on the Zoom chat box, right?
Yes, I'll create a form now and drop it there.
Yeah, please do that quickly. All right. All protocols duly observed. I am really, really, really elated and grateful. First, to both of our speakers, Mr. Lawrence and Mr. Precious, for doing us the honors. Hold on a second. Yeah, Mr. Lawrence and Mr. Precious for doing us the honors. I'm really grateful, and I'm sure that all of us have learned one thing or another participating in today's session. It was really 2 hours thereabout well spent. But I don't want to just close without asking somebody who is dear to my heart, who in the person of Dr. Abraham Eju, to say a few words. Mr. Peter Igbe also. He was the one who asked Mr. Precious the question on followers and leaders. Mr. Peter Igbe is a patron of GSC in Lagos, and of course a member of the immediate past president of the global president of GSC. Sirs, if you are there, please unmute and just say a few words before we wrap up, please.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, all. This is Abraham. Let me just have a quick go, then Engineer Peter. First, I want to observe our protocol. I want to honor and commend Engineer Dara, the corpus. This is amazing. This is fantastic. In a way, unbelievable. You know, Lawrence say I caused his bad. You can see my own is worse because we think the same way. We think beyond ourselves. We think about the generations coming behind. I want to thank Lawrence and thank the other resource, the first resource person, Mr. Precious. You know, the question I've been asked, how do we continue with all these challenges? I mean, if you see what's happening, I'm happy the first speaker talked about Singapore, a country that at the time was begging a neighboring country to adopt them. I mean, we are at the stage where we say, Jackpot, people are trying to run to some other, but this country went to a neighboring country and said, please adopt us. The entire country want to Jackpot, want to join, and they were rejected. And at a point, someone stood up and said, what can we do? And it took 20 years, but because they didn't give up, today, that country is over and above the one they were begging. They were begging Malaysia, but today they are first world. Malaysia is still advanced, but not close to them. They are still neighbors. So that tells that what you are doing may look like a drop of water. When we started, I mean, just a handful, I know we come from River State to Unilag when in Nadara, they were still, in Achei, were still students. We talk to the students, we travel back. But today, look at Idara, you know, our drop of water that we are holding, we are looking at the ocean. If we put this drop of water, what significance will it make? But at the point we told ourselves, drop it. Let it be that it's recorded in history that you dropped your drop. And then from drop, today you can say GSC is probably a cup or a jug. You don't know what it will become, you know, just the way you coppers are going. You don't know. You know, when that guy in Singapore started 20 years at that time, he never knew. When Mandela and co started in the 50s, they never knew that it's going to get. When, you know, Martin Luther, they started, they never knew that it can never happen. It can happen that a black man will be sitting in the White House one day. It's like it's impossible. So we are planting trees. We're planting trees that are sustainable. You are planting your mango, your orange, your pear, your guava. These are trees that you may not live to see the fruits because it takes time. But then when it starts bearing, its generation, it will give shade to them. It will give food to them. So if you are like Lawrence, Idara, Sheyi, myself, Peter, who have decided to think beyond ourselves, to think down the line to those not unborn, that if we have to make the sacrifice, that they will live a better life than what we see today, rather than spend our life complaining about today. We have taken that step. We're having bowed head, we're having sleepless nights, but the reward is coming behind. We don't need to wait till we participate in the fruit. Mandela was fortunate. Most of his colleagues didn't even see the fruit. He saw a bit of the fruit before passing on. But look at the result today. So once you have that conviction, it's conviction that will drive you. If you wait for numbers, if you wait to see the ocean versus your drop of water, you will never drop that water. can never compare with the ocean. But those who dropped it in other places in human history, their generations are still reaping. Once that orange tree grows, it doesn't need rain. It takes its own water because it's a borehole in itself. And this is the whole concept. So I commend all of you. You are doing something that's, it will be posterity down the line. That's, we fully understand what you're doing today. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Really so grateful. If Mr. Engineer Peter could just say one or two words.
Okay. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
I'm currently in transit. So I'm getting a bald head also. So I thought it was just genetics, but there's another. I now have another perspective for it. So that's really interesting. Yeah. Okay. So this is really wonderful, and it's great to see how much the CDS and GSC Lagos has come. There's a quotation that's credited to Edmund Burke, and what he said was that the only thing that's required for evil to thrive is for good men to do nothing. So, and every little thing we do, everything that we do towards moving ourselves in the right direction, it's surely going to bear fruit. It's something that makes the people that are pushing in the other direction not to push with as much impunity as they could have. There are forces that are trying to drag this nation in the other direction. There are forces that are trying to consolidate themselves in our nation today. But for us to get to where we wish to be, we need to keep pushing. Like Engineer Eju said, it's a gradual process. And I'm really proud to see everything that is going on with GSC. Incidentally, I'm on my way to Lagos now. I'm in the airport. I don't know if I'll have time to see you.
You will have time. You will have time, sir. Sir, you will have time.
Okay, I'll call you when I get into Lagos, and we'll see.
Thank you so much, sir.
We can connect.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I just want to say well done to the CDS, and I think Lagos came after Lokoja, Abuja, but I think they're still they are teaching us lessons also. So well done, and I think there's a lot that needs to be learned even for Rivers State. I think we can get some things going here. So thank you, everyone. These were just wonderful conversations, and I'm sure this is a series that will continue because it's helped to focus the mind and to help us to really keep an eye on what we're doing. There's something I learned today. One of the things I learned was that it takes 22 to 60 days to create a new habit.
Yes.
Yeah, so there are some new habits I actually want to imbibe. So I think I just have to hold myself for 22 to 60 days, and I'll start doing it consistently. So thank you, and well done to you. Well done to everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I'm really very grateful, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
In closing, I would just like to share a couple of things, which is more like I'll attempt at summarizing the crux of what the conversation we've had today, and then also to share with us how today came about. So usually we have our CDS meetings on the engagement on the second Thursday of every month, and then our physical meetings are the third Thursday of every month. And this time around, when we found out that it was our engagement day was going to coincide with Democracy Day, we said, why not? Because Lagos has a unique challenge of, if you miss one day, it is absolutely and almost impossible to recover it. You will never get any other Thursday in a month where you can put coppers together, because all local governments have their own autonomy. So it's every LG doesn't necessarily follow the same calendar. But so we asked ourselves, how do we make this work such that we can have the best value for ourselves in the CDS, for the coppers, for everybody basically? And then we thought to come up with a virtual symposium. Now, this virtual symposium is the second program in a 3-tiered program. On the 22nd of June this month, our CDS will be 2 years. And we, in planning the second year anniversary, we decided to have, discussed outgoing EXCOs, new EXCOs, and we came up with this 3-pronged program. So the first, which we had week before last, was an engagement at a cleanliness, a health and hygiene program at Odolo. And so just give me a second. I need to reply a message very quickly. I'm supposed. So after the health and awareness outreach at a primary school at Odolo here in Lagos, this symposium is a second level, and then the third tier is going to be our debate competition. The debate is between the boys in the CDS against the gentlemen in the CDS, because we know there are no boys in the CDS. The gentlemen in the CDS and the ladies in the CDS. And the topic for that debate is millennials and Gen Zs, who are more receptive or more open to values and values appreciation. And from the topic, and then it's the he's versus the she's. You can tell that it's going to be a very healthy competition that day. Now, when the CDS started 2 years ago, we were quite unsure what we're going to do, how we're going to achieve it. But I think that as we allowed time to sink, time has given us more clarity, and the clarity has, more instruction and direction has come. I'm extremely grateful to every copper who has ever done anything, gone out for engagements, attended a meeting, all EXCOs past and present, who have in one way or another, some of the alumni are also part of the school, who have in one way or another ensured that the values, the light of values keeps shining, okay? Because we understand how difficult it can be to talk about something that is seemingly bleak in the bigger society. But then in our own personal lives, we have come to see that this is not just hearsay, this is not just wishful thinking. It works. When you have the right value system, your life actually becomes much, much easier. In 2 years, we've done close to 83 engagements. When we started, we were just about 6 subgroups in the CDS. Now we are currently about 9, and by next month will be 10. We have passed out close to 300 coppers, a bit above 300 coppers the last 2 years. And then engagements, we have reached over 3,800 people on our monthly engagements. And then social media wise, we are, even though some say that we are doing well social media wise, we feel that there is still so much we have to do, which is where our focus currently lies. The world basically evolves around principles and systems. And one of the biggest systems or principles that has helped me live my life is that which you sow is what you will reap. And I share with coppers every day that I see the work in the CDS and in GSC generally as a ministry for me. And I know how much God has helped me, how what I have sown has found a way of coming back to me. And it is something that I will keep talking about till the day I die. And I tell everybody in the CDS and beyond the CDS, anybody who knows me, you cannot live your life and not care what people think, because you are leading people. By virtue of where you are today, others led you, and you are definitely leading other people consciously or unconsciously. Therefore, if it takes place, whether you think it or you don't, why don't you now actually prepare for it and work at it as best as you can and as hard as you can? When I met Sheyi in Unilag, Sheyi was the first coordinator, Engineer Sheyi was the first coordinator of GSC in Lagos. When I met Sheyi in Unilag, I think he was 3 years there, about my senior in school. And he was a debater, he was an orator. I think he eventually managed the engineering faculty's oratory department. And I just like, who's this guy? You know, he talks, yeah, he talks, but there's something different about him, until when a classmate of mine who was the immediate past coordinator of GSC Lagos, Kelly Opende, said, let's go for radio. And when I got to radio, I found Sheyi there in radio, and that was how I joined GSC. And initially it was I struggled a little bit, but I think I've gone past struggling, and I want to use this opportunity to announce to every copper who is here that you have a responsibility. I don't think that you are at this symposium hearing people like Lawrence speak, hearing people like Mr. Precious Ayorinde speak, hearing people like Mr. Peter Ibi speak. I don't think it is a mistake. I don't know what interpretation you give to it, but this is the interpretation that I will give to it. Nigeria requires more of you. If you think you're doing enough, I would say to you, you are not. You may be doing well, but you are not doing enough yet. Until we get to a point where Nigeria is the Nigeria of our thoughts and our dreams becomes the manifested Nigeria, we don't stop. A lot of times, a lot of corporates in the CDS look at me as mentor, as leader, as in charge. And I remind you every time that as much as you are following at this point in time, you are also leading those whom you go and interact with during engagements. Just the same way the torch was passed on to me, in a few years' time, I'll be passing on the torch entirely, completely to one of you. It could be somebody in the alumni, it could be somebody in the CDS currently. Therefore, this is not something that stops until we are out of here. I enjoin you, I encourage you to work from your heart, to put in your best, to do your most. And if it's something that you actually ask God, pray about, you would get direction on how to manage your time, your work, and your passion. And you'll be given the capacity to empower other people. We have GSC in Lagos, we have the NOA GSC CDS in Lagos, but this CDS needs to go beyond Lagos. It needs to go beyond Lagos, Abuja, Kogi, Jos. It needs to go all over the nation. And it is people who will do that job. If I find myself in another state outside of this core state, I will definitely put myself on the line again to see how we can get the CDS started in another state. I need you to know that you are not too young. You have the capacity, because capacity has been given to you. Therefore, take the mandate. When Lawrence was speaking, he told us about adopting a school. I've shared with a couple of alumni to adopt a school in their environment. Invite me, invite us, we'll go there, have conversations with the corpers. Yes, Lagos has its own challenges and has its own uniqueness. I know this. I experience this every time and every day. But guess what? Where there is a will, there is a way. And if it's encouragement that you need, you will always get it from me and from everybody who has gone before me, who has spoken today, or who you will eventually meet and encounter. Please, while I'm really grateful to you, the guys in the social media team, you are amazing. I've always had, I would say that I've always been blessed to have members of the ESCO who really put their heart into what they do, from the first president down to the current president. everybody has done their best, and every month, every ESCO, it's a notch higher. We have improvements, we have growth, and we hope that we continue to see this. And then beyond what we do collectively, individually, we would really put our hearts to spreading the values message in Nigeria and get a lot done. I want to sincerely appreciate Mr. Olaoye, who is the schedule officer of the NYSC to the CDS, who has always been so helpful, ensuring that corpers are not stuck when it's time for clearance or anything, any responsibility that they have as corpers, guiding the corpers to ensure that no rules are broken, because we live in a guarded environment. We cannot just do things carelessly. So I'm really grateful to you. I'm grateful to Dr. Eju, Engineer Peter, Lawrence, Engineer Sheyola Diji, who is not here, and everybody. I'm really very grateful, and I'm hopeful that we will put our hearts to ensure that we have a very good debate next year, next week. I don't want to say who I think should win, but I hope that those I think should win don't win, and I hope that those I don't think should win. Well, take it. I hope you know who I think should win and who I think shouldn't win. But keep it. Whatever you think, you are correct. Let's not go into specifics. So please put your hearts to it and let us have a very beautiful debate. Enjoy participation, and I'm sure that at the end of the day you'll come out with lessons, come out with messages for yourself. Thank you so much for sparing us this 1 hour, 2 hours, 18 minutes thereabout. Have a beautiful Democracy Day. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Long live the NYSC. Long live the National Orientation Agency. Long live the Generation for Societal Change. Long live the NOA GSC CPS in Lagos, and of course in every part of Nigeria. Thank you. God bless us all. We can now play the national anthem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, so like Engineer said, we'll be taking the national anthem to officially close the symposium. I'll share my screen now.
Sorry, quick one before the national anthem. So immediately after the national anthem, let's all corpers put on their videos for those who are properly dressed, so that we can have screenshots for the social media team to do what they know how to do best. So let's do that after the national anthem. We'll have like a minute after the national anthem to do that. You can put on your videos and just say your bye-byes, then we'll call it a day. Thank you. Over to you, Mofi.
All right. So just like what engineer said, let's turn on our videos. If you have your cap on and you're wearing your complete NYSC uniform, please do that. All right, are we ready? I think it's Clem or Ore that's taking the screenshots.
Ora is taking the screenshots.
Okay, all right. So when you're ready, just tell so we can pause.
Okay, so 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Still going on. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you for that, Ore.
Thank you, everyone. Members of the Thinking Cap, we'll talk after
Thank
this.
you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Abraham. Thank you, everyone, for coming. God bless you all. That will be the end of the first ever virtual symposium held by NOA GSC CDS in collaboration with the GSC. Thank you, guys. Have an amazing day.